Ladies and gentlemen, hello, and coming to you once again, not quite live from One Take Studios, where today's topic is going to be stem and leaf displays. I just grabbed a set of data here. I got compliments of Google. These are the Michigan COVID-19 cases every day from June 1st through 15th of the year 2020. And in case you're interested, this is actually the patterns. This is the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, and so on through the 15th of June. All right. What I want to show you today is a way to organize data, and then we're going to look at why we might want to use this particular means of organizing data. To use a stem and leaf display, or some call it a stem and leaf plot, the concept is this. We want to have single digits as our leaves, single digits in this right-hand column, which means that whatever else we need to have, like these are all three-digit numbers, we're going to have the other digits in the first column. So for example, when I look at the number 74, 4 is my ones place. I'm going to put the 4 here, which means the 7 is going to go on the stem side. If I'm looking at 189, the 9, the last digit, is going to be my leaf, but the first two, the 18, is going to have to be on this side. When I set this up, I want my stems to be in order from smallest to largest, and so I'm just kind of perusing my data here. 7 I do see as my smallest number, and it appears that 304, so 30, would be my largest stem. So I want to start counting, and I want to start counting in order. So let's see, here we go. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Ooh, I'm going to have to draw a couple more lines here. That's okay. 19, 20. Let's see here. 21, 22. This is awful long. I have to go all the way to 30. I don't think it's going to fit. I mean, look at the bottom of my paper. I might run out of space. Am I allowed to do a break in my graph? Like the same way that I do like the little zigzaggy breaks for like a histogram maybe? Actually, yeah. As long as you don't get crazy with it, that would be okay. And let's check it out. 22. What's my next stem number after 22 would actually jump as high as, 28. So maybe, just maybe, on my way through here, after 22, I do a nice little zigzag break, and then I pick up at 28, and I can go 28, 29, and 30. Why do we not want to go crazy with these breaks? Well, there's a visual aspect of this that I'd like you to see, and hopefully it'll make sense here in a moment. This is an awful long graph. Wow. Okay. So, 135. How do I show that in my stem and leaf display? Well, the stem would be the 13, and the 5 is my ones place, and so the 5 is going to be my leaf. That represents 135. 199, that means I need to find 19 and put a 9 right there. 304, all the way down to the bottom here. 304. 206. 206 would be here. Again, 206, the 20 and the 6. Having fun with our blurring here. After 206, we get 284, so 284. That's going to go back on that bottom again. How about 224? 224 will go here. And 121, that's a 12 with a 1. 120, oh, wait a minute. That's got a stem of 12, and that's got a stem of 12. What will I do? Well, if that's 121, what if I put a 9 here? That could be 121 and 129, and I can represent both of them. I'm not going to use a comma here. We don't use comma in stem and leaves. 108 is up next. That's 108 right there. 171, that's a 17 with a 1. 218, 218. 120, that's a popular stem, isn't it? So the 1 and the 9 and the 5. Okay, so that's 121, 129, and 125. 180, that's going to be this guy right here. Another 18 for a stem, so 189. So again, that's 180 and 189. And then 74 was here. This is our stem and leaf display. Looking at this, how do I know what the numbers mean? Well, You want your stem and leaf display to have a key listed someplace. And you can use the numbers that are in your data set or maybe someplace else, but maybe I go with my 74 and I say if I see a 7/4 to indicate the 7 and the 4, the stem and the leaf, that's going to represent, in this case, 74, and if I want to get super fancy, 74 COVID-19 cases. And that way somebody else looking at this would have a chance to understand what the numbers represent. Why do I have blurriness? There you guys go. Okay, all right. So you want to have a key that tells people what they're looking at. All right, well, why would I do this? Why do I not want to make a frequency table? Or why do I not want to just do maybe a histogram or a bar graph or something along those lines? I could do any of those things. Let me tell you though, benefits of a stem and leaf display. All of your other data organizers organize the information and then you never get to see the individual numbers again. I might know a frequency for how often something occurs, but I won't know what the actual numbers are. So one of the bonuses of a stem and leaf display is that you can reclaim every single original data value by looking at it. Now I don't have any values here behind the 8. What if I just put a 0 there to show that we don't have any? Is that a good idea? Well, that would mean that 8 with a 0 after it would represent 80, and is 80 in my data set? Oh, no, it's not. So I actually would rather just leave this blank saying there are no values that have a stem of 8, and there are no values that have a stem of 9. If I'm looking for trends, perhaps consider turning this sideways for a second. If you look, we'll ignore the data set, we'll just focus on this part for a second here. This can give you the image of a bar graph as well. If I'm looking at this, I can see my tallest column here is this one with the stem of 12. So I can see that trending wise, I have most cases that were in the 120s compared to other areas. I did also have 2 cases in the 180s. So it's kind of like a bar graph, data organizer, and I get to keep all of my raw data values all at one time. Could I actually use some of my descriptive words to decide what kind of distribution that is? I could. I don't know that it necessarily applies here. I would not call this symmetrical. I would not call this super duper mound shaped. Maybe if I'm looking for a word here, I might call this bimodal, to saying I've got 2 spikes, but there's not a whole lot of obvious trend happening here. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, think about this. Stem and leaf displays. The last number, whatever it is, so in this case it was the ones place, all of the ones digits were going to be my leaves, and everything before the ones place is going to be my stem. I don't fill in zeros where there are no values. I do want to include a key that tells my readers what they are looking at. I can use a break, but I don't want to get super break happy. Again, because if I'm looking at this as a bar graph of sorts, and if I do a break here, this is going to kind of throw off my image, especially if I have multiple breaks. So if I did a break there and there and there, I really wouldn't get to see the trends as they exist. I'd be modifying my graph and possibly misleading people. So one break, okay, maybe. Other breaks, no. If you had like one super duper outlier, absolutely put a break in for your outlier and that would be cool too. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is it. That is the nuts and bolts for stem and leaf displays. For those of you pondering life for a moment, what if my number was 7.4? My 10th place would be my leaf still, and everything before that would be my stem. It's just that when I got to here, my 7/4 would represent 7.4 instead. So I can even use this with decimals if I choose. All right, have fun with that, and don't forget the benefits of a stem and leaf display. Thank you.